Today's video, we are going to cover multi-location PPC and give you some local multi-location PPC tips. How to make the most possible money from each location that you have on Google Ads, okay? The short of this is going to explain why having all your eggs in one basket, trying to promote, in other words, all of your locations together as a cohesive unit on Google Ads is not by and large the way to make the most money. Not even close, actually. You want to promote your locations separately as they're separate businesses as they are. And there's a specific way to do that that is going to optimize for the most possible sales and profit for your business. If somebody's searching locally for a business, they don't want to screw around and sift through a bunch of crap to find out how to visit that location or call it or contact it. You want to give them a straight shot, dedicated landing page that has all the key information they need to know about that specific location and that location only. Furthermore, you want your ad to look as localized as possible as well. Local phone number, local address, that kind of thing. Because that is what users ultimately want, and then it will the least confuse them overall as well. So I'm going to go through in detail, step by step here, how I set up a PPC campaign for each individual location to squeeze out as much profit as you can from each location and as a whole from all the locations that you have on Google Ads, having tested this many times over for many other local brick-and-mortar type businesses that we've promoted and helped, as well as, of course, service companies who have local showrooms as well. So getting into the content, whereas it would be faster / easier to just run one campaign or one landing page for all of your locations, all your physical locations that you have, that's a surefire way to get basically a third of the total profit you can get out of Google Ads for the bulk of your locations as a whole. So what you want to do, because when we're talking about local businesses, people always want to know three main things as quickly and as easy as possible. The quicker and easier you convey this information, the more business you're going to get out of each possible opportunity that's there. They want to know, can you do what they came to Google for in the first place, or get it? Do you cover their local area? Can they trust you? Assuming you have a major brand already that people know, well, the trust part of it is already taken care of. But so what you want to do is have one unique campaign for each location that you have, and one unique landing page specifically that you have. So you don't want to send them, you don't want to have one ad that just caters to everybody. You don't want one landing page that caters to everybody. On your ad, you want to try to mention all three of those things that I mentioned. You want to mention that you do the thing. So if they're looking for elderly care supplies, you say elderly care supplies. Assuming they typed in elderly care supplies as a keyword, you want that on the ad. Then you want to say that you're close. You're offering elderly care supplies in Winter Park. If they're in the metro area, they want to know physically where you're at. So they want to know if you're close or far away. You can play a little bit of some games to where if you're a little bit farther than you think they can drive, you can leave that location off the ad actually though, just as a quick site as we found, and end up with more conversions. Because once they get to the landing page, they're more likely to just keep moving forward than if they saw the ad and saw it was too far away. So, and with that, it obviously varies by business, but once you're past like 30 miles, they're not going to go any further than that if they know it's further than that right on the ad. So that's kind of like the cutoff point where I would say hide it per se. And particularly also hide it on the landing page and have them, if they have to kind of call, leave an appointment, let them call and find out after they've called that you're 60 miles away. It's a way to get more possible demand and business out of Google Ads, by not scaring people away too quick. But anyway, with that said, you say where you're at, and then also you want to say that you're trusted. Like if you're a trusted brand, you don't have to worry about this too much. But if you are, not completely trusted yet. You can say how long you've been in business, which is a great way to convey that. You can say what your average review score is on Google. Even though you can't say Google on your ad, there's a way to, average, 5-star reviews on G, or on, you can say 5-star reviews on Yelp, or, on Y, which is an abbreviation because you have the same issues with trademark and not being able to put that into your ad. But you can also say A+ BBB rated, which everybody knows what that is. So there's some different options for you. You can say, of course, how long you've been in business, in biz since 2006. That's one of our favorite things that we do. So you say right back to them what, in order to do it, you of course have to have one ad per keyword, and then therefore only one keyword in each ad group. But if they type in wheelchair lifts on Google, you want an ad that doesn't screw around and say elderly care supplies. If you want 3 times as much profit here, you got to say vehicle lifts in Winter Park. What I like to do for products, by the way, is say in stock, ready to ship or buy in store, because a lot of people, what I'm going to mention here in a minute, a lot of people want to see what you have before they come in, so they know they're not wasting their time. And then of course you can close with in business since, or in biz since 2006. And then they now know that you have what they came for, where you're at, and they can trust you. And of course that you have what they really like, which is to browse online on your website and then come in when they're ready to buy. That's the formula that you want to follow. You will do much, much better having that formula where they can browse online, then come in, or just browse online, then buy online. And they get to decide, on the spot. Do I want to come in, or do I want to browse online before I come in, or do I want to come in right away? Or do I want to browse online and then just buy online and not come in? Change my mind. I thought I was going to come in locally, but I'm not now. People will a lot of times buy online from you first before another business, because if they want to return the product, they don't have to hassle with it as much to return as if they bought from another online vendor that's not local. They can also, of course, get the product within 24 hours. You can actually say 24-hour shipping within, Orlando area. And if you mention that sometimes on the ad, and then of course on the landing page, that'll help increase conversion rates as well. But anyway, that's kind of what you do on your ad, okay? Then furthermore, you want the local Google My Business that you have that's closest to that location added as the location extension. So on the ad, you can have location extension, which has the address, and then the address is of course is clickable, so you can click on it and then it'll take you to Google Maps. If you have multiple locations, you only want to add the Google My Business location for your to serve as your locations extension for each location, so that Google doesn't have to guess which of your locations to put underneath your ad. And the way that you do this is of course, if you have all your different locations, you map out, which one, where's like the cutoff point where if they're here, they should see the location for this location. If they're here, they should see this location's address. And of course, that makes sure your ad, the most appropriate, closest location for that person, shows up for that person in terms of the ad, but also the Google Local My Business address and profile that will show up underneath your ad along with it as well. Furthermore, you want your call extension that you want underneath your ad, which makes your ad look more local and verify to the user that you are a local business. You want a local phone number there, meaning local area code, because it proves more on the spot that you're actually a local business and you're not screwing around. And even though you said Winter Park in your ad as far as your location, that you really are in Winter Park because you have a local area code, or likely to be. And then furthermore, you want a local Google My Business ads number, because a lot of people don't know, in order to track your phone calls from people that call from the Google My Business listing, the organic listing itself, or should I say, because you can actually show up in the Google My Business 3-pack organically. But if you have a Google My Business location extension added to your ad, you can actually show up in that 3-pack, but instead of it being an organic listing, it's a sponsored listing, and it says sponsored right next to it. And if somebody calls from that sponsored listing within the 3-pack, that call can be recorded as a conversion in Google Ads if you have the calls from ads number filled in on your Google My Business profile. Why you want to do this? Because of course you want as much conversion data in your ad account, because with the more conversion data you have for Google's algorithm to optimize and get you better results with your ads long term, the more results you of course get. You know, the more conversions, the more sales you can make, and the better the ROI the conversions you are getting are going to get over time. But with that specialized number that's only supposed to show up in the sponsored ad in the 3-pack versus the organic listing in the 3-pack, you can have a dedicated number to track those sponsored calls versus the organic calls. That will feed into Google Ads. If you're using something like CallRail, you can do that. But then you want to make sure the phone number that shows up in the sponsored listing in the 3-pack has a local area code so that it looks local there as well, just to speak on that. But you definitely want to add your Google location extension, because then you can actually show up as a sponsored listing in the 3-pack as well, which helps obviously because your 3-pack converts better than the ads or anything else on Google itself. And you don't always rank in the 3-pack organically, so it just gets you more of what converts naturally better, converts customers better naturally already. Anyway, beyond that, okay, so that's everything as far as the ads in a nutshell. Then you want to send people to a dedicated landing page for each location. Each location gets its own page. Now the formula that we found basically works the best for local brick and mortar or local showrooms that you want people to go into, as mentioned before. You are going to have a landing page basically that is laid out like this. This landing page basically conveys, because the person when they get to the landing page, what they want to know is, do you do what you said on the ad, which is what I came to Google for in the first place? Where are you located, and can I trust you? So it's basically the same thing they're looking on the ad. So with that, if you take this basic layout and you copy exactly what we found through all of our millions of dollars of ad testing, landing page testing works the best for a local brick and mortar, you will be able to get fantastic results for yourself as well. So what you're going to do on this landing page, start with the logo upper left, because that's where people normally look for it the most. You're going to have your phone number upper right in case they want to call you before they come in. And then right to the left of the phone number, you can have a little link that says contact us, which if they click on that, you can have a pop-up contact form where they can, of course, ask a question that way, because some people their preferred method of communication is going to be filling out the contact form. And they're not ready to come in yet because they wanted to ask a question first. So you make sure you cater to those people. The main thing this page here does very well, and the reason why it's more profitable than other layouts you can use, is because it caters to every single person individually and doesn't exclude anybody necessarily. Like I said, there's some people who want to buy online and that's it. Some people want to browse online, then come in. Some people want to just come in right away. They don't want to browse online. Some people want to ask a question. All 4 of those types of people are catered to with this layout here that I'm giving you here. So if they don't want to contact you right away, and they more so want to come in, now it comes down to, do they want to browse online then come in, or do they just want to come in? And of course the other option is that they want to browse online and then buy online, which they probably didn't have that in their mind by default, but some of them will. So what you do, underneath the logo and the phone number that's at the top, very top part of the landing page you're taking them to, I usually have a little map here that's Google Maps, so they can see, should I say a image of Google Maps with a pin on it that shows within the map where we're physically located in the city. So they can just look at that and then right away know, oh, okay, I see it's in Southwest Orlando. And then there's a button underneath it that says, there's two things underneath it. There's a button underneath it that says get driving directions. So if they click on that, it goes right away to Google Maps, enters in the address as the place to go to, and then you just have to type in where you're from, what address you're at now, and then it'll give you the directions to get to the location directly. And then also it says contact us in case you have a question. And then furthermore, directly to the right of that, you're going to have a split screen image. One half of the screen is going to show the storefront to prove that it's a local business, not an online only shop. And then on the right hand side of this image, your image is going to show the products that you sell. If they're looking for a vehicle lift, you want to show a picture of your vehicle lift inventory here, so they can see, okay, you have a store and you clearly have a whole line of vehicle lifts in the store, so I know if I come in, you're going to have what I came for. So that's what you want. And then furthermore, if sometimes we'll put a little link directly underneath the picture of the vehicle lift line inside the store that says browse online, but a lot of times we leave that off. So that's your, as they call it, above the fold. Still above the fold, or before you have to scroll anywhere, you're still also going to get this strip right here, which is the strip that's going to prove to the user that you can be trusted. Because that meant, as I mentioned before, one of the other things they have to have and know before they want to invest time even calling you, but certainly buying from you on your site or in your store, is that they can trust you. What we'll do to convey trust more quick than any other way is to say what our average Google reviews are, our average Yelp reviews are, what's our average rating. Google average rating 4.9, Yelp average rating 4.2, that kind of thing. That goes right here directly below the section I just mentioned. And if you want to add a little bit of extra, you're in a low trust market where people need more trust to feel comfortable enough to buy or act or move forward, you can mention how long you've been in business, and right up here in this top section between the phone number and the logo. So that's what they see when they land on the page every time. Ultimately, they're going to see that you have a store, you sell the product that they were originally looking for on Google. Here is where you're located. You can get directions if you click one simple button, and you can ask a question if you want to, or can call. So you have all your bases covered. Beyond that, though, once you get below where it says the average review rating score that you have at like Google, Yelp, that kind of thing, and Facebook potentially, or whatever's relevant to your industry, directly below that you'll show if the person was originally looking for vehicle lifts, then you will not only show that up here, but you'll show one vehicle lift, the second vehicle lift, the third vehicle lift, the fourth vehicle lift, and then there'll be a button underneath here that says browse our online inventory of vehicle lifts. And so they can see, if I want to see, because if you're going to scroll, why haven't they responded yet? Well, probably because they want to know if they can see what vehicle lifts we have in our store without having to come in yet. And so that's why you mentioned that first. Then directly below that, you can have an offer here, where you can offer a 10% off vehicle lifts this month only. Make sure to mention this coupon when you come into the store. And if you're going to do a coupon, you can do a dotted line around the offer, which usually gets people's attention the most. But that's what you would have directly underneath that section that works the best. And then finally, you have the footer, where you're going to have another picture of the map that shows where you're at, and a link to get driving directions. And then the address, the physical address directly to the right of the map. Then you can have the phone number here to the lower right. So basically you just have your contact information again at the bottom of the screen. Because if they got past, your offer and then, a link to show where, you can browse all the products that you're planning to buy in our store before you come in, you can, and they did not want to do that. The last logical thing to do is to say, to repeat how to contact you, because if you haven't got what you want yet, then you either come in or you call and you ask a question. That's the formula right there that I would recommend on every landing page you have. You make, like I said, one landing page for each location that you have, but in addition to that, you're going to make one landing page for each product category, or if you're actually doing service category that you have, so that they know right away that when they hit the page that where you're at, and that you like what you do, but what you do specifically, you offer the exact product that they're looking for or the exact service they're looking for. So it's crystal clear that if you waste your time coming into our store, you're going to get exactly what you want. Not going to waste your time. Not only that, but you can see exactly what we have before you come into the store, so you can actually prove that to yourself before you come, that the prices are there, that we have it in stock, which are all things that people are wondering about before they come in, which stops them from coming in, and why your conversion rate will be higher if you have an online inventory. A lot of people don't want to do an online inventory, but it's in 2023, it's becoming like the standard. Either you do that or your campaigns are not going to work, because people want to see that before they come in. They're pissed off about coming into your store and then seeing you don't have any stock because you don't, just for whatever reason. And why people like shopping online in the first place. So yes, you're going to have a lot of landing pages, one for each product or service category you have at least, and one for each location. But this works so well. Making 3 times as much money switching over to this from having one campaign for all your locations and one landing page for all your locations is an understatement. If you have one campaign for each location and then one landing page for all your locations that you use for all your locations combined, you can already triple the amount of sales and profit you're going to be able to make. Specifically profit you're going to be able to make just from having the landing pages done the way that I was mentioning here. And if you're using one campaign for all your locations on top of it, now you're talking about 5 to 10 times more results than you started off with in terms of increase in profit versus the profit that you started with your simple one campaign for all your locations and your one landing page for all your locations. There's massive, massive increases in results doing micro segmentation of your strategy and doing different campaigns for different locations, and that of course you don't have one ad for everything you sell, but you have unique ads for each thing that people are searching for, so you can say right on the ad that you offer that and take them to a page right away that they can see that you offer that. You proved it to them essentially. That's where the magic happens. And if you don't want to do this type of thing, this is exactly what we do for clients at our firm, and we know it works every time. So we're willing to say, we'll guarantee you double your sales up front off of your same ad spend as long as you're willing to give us a decent payday at the end of it. That's what we do here at Guarantee PPC. This is not about pitching our services here. I just want to prove a point here that this works so well that we're willing to gamble our own services and time and effort put in on doing stuff like this, because we already know it's going to work every time, and it's going to work a lot. So anyway, that's how you do multi-location PPC to max out the results that you can get in a broken down, simple to follow format that'll get you all these results. I didn't mention about conversion tracking. Like I said before, you want to set up your tracking on your phone extension, on your ad, and your Google My Business ad phone number that you have just for your sponsored listings in your Google My Business 3-pack. So you can track that and feed that into your ad account. If they call from your landing page, not just click on your phone number, but if they call, do it the right way. Feed that back into your ad account. If they fill out the form, you feed that, whether that happens back into your ad account. And then of course, if they purchase something on your site, assuming you have that capability, which you should certainly have, because there's some people who were planning to come in and you can just get them to buy online, even though they weren't planning that originally. It was just they changed their mind, and those are just gimme sales. Anyway, you feed that revenue data back into your ad account. So even though it's a little tricky to track sales that you get from people coming into your store, which there's ways to do that with web beacons. I'm not going to necessarily get into that on this particular video, but you'll have so much data, so much quality data fed into your account at that point in time. Doing that's going to be the minimum way I'm going to set up my tracking, that the ads are going to just continuously get better on its own. It's going to test having your ad show up for a few other keywords it wasn't before, figure out if it works or doesn't work, and then weed out what doesn't work, keep what is, and then keep doing that over and over again, so that every year you're doubling the sales that this campaign you set up can get you, just because it's set up so well, but B, you have the right data flowing in on top of it. If you set up your campaign right and you're tracking right, the system just keeps getting you more sales, even if you were to make no optimizations, which you should also do that as well, because the algorithm that Google has that runs the ads, it's really smart now, and they segment. If you're targeting the vehicle lifts, elderly vehicle lifts for like to get wheelchairs into a car so you can like travel with your wheelchair. That's what I was talking about in specific here. But what they'll do is they'll track the 1,000+ different people who search for vehicle lifts on an ongoing basis, male versus female, old versus young, and they'll identify which ones are most likely to convert. And not only overall, but for you specifically and your product specifically and the type of products you have in inventory specifically. And with that, ultimately, they just find out exactly the type of people who search for products like yours or services, convert and like what you have specifically. And when they find that, the results are amazing. But it takes time for them to understand that, because you have to have a certain minimum amount of mass of data for them to really understand that. And that can take years to build up. But what it will do is get you more and more results on an ongoing basis. Through your results, your ROI progressively gets better, as well as your total sales and total profit you make from your ads that you set up progressively gets better over time as well. And it keeps compounding essentially. So don't forget to add the tracking piece here as well. But with that said, that's pretty much as I can tell you here. If you like the video, I would appreciate if you give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I have a ton of other content on this channel just like this that'll help you make tons of money with your ads, and it's just like the content I just shared with you here. If you like my channel, by the way, you will also love my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, as well as my column that I have over at entrepreneur.com. If you like the channel, you'll love the written content that I have. I promise you that. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do ad management for clients. We have an agency here that's set up to guarantee clients results. In that, we promise our clients a certain amount of increase in sales results on their campaigns or leads before we take any fees at all. If you're interested in working with us in that kind of way, the catch is we don't work with just anybody, but if you want to see if we can work together with you and guarantee your results, you should reach out to us at guaranteeppc.com. I'll personally give you a review of your account and see how much sales results we can promise for you up front. As a side, if you don't want to work with an ad agency per se, but you want to really get good results, if we've worked in your market before, which we've worked in 100+ markets already in the last 10 years of running this agency, we can simply give you what works for your industry already. The ads, the campaigns, everything, the landing page templates. And for a one-time fee, you can just use what we used in that market already, assuming you're not working in the same geographic territory as our client or past client. You can use whatever worked in another corresponding similar market, a geographic market, and get the same results for yourself. We would tell you, of course, what the results were up front, and for that fee, you get to cut out all the time, money wasted and time wasted to figure out what works the best in that market, and you get that ironclad version to use in your own account right away for basically no money in comparison to what we had to spend to get to those same results for ourselves. The results are so good, we got people starting side businesses, selling leads and everything else with those templates. And so if you were to start a business, that would be a great place to start. But anyway, just mentioning that as it proves how good the templates actually are. Then we can tell you the results you would get with the template before you actually purchased it. Anyway, if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and reach out to my firm at guaranteeppc.com to inquire. As a small couple other things, there's other ways to work with us, by the way. We often also invest in companies where we'll take 1 to 10% of your sales growth at your company, and then in return, we'll do all your ad work, running ads, managing your ads totally for free. We don't cover your ad spend, of course, but we'll manage the ads with no management fees and only take a performance fee, which is 1 to 10% of the sales in addition to what you already have. And we're working purely on performance in that regard. If you're interested in that kind of partnership, we'd love to hear from you. The partnerships that we have done already, we'd be able to share with you, of which are doing extremely well. And it's the way that we would like to eventually work with all companies we ultimately deal with at our agency. Beyond that, a second small thing as well, if you are looking to work with us have us manage your ads, by the way, if you can't afford our fees or just don't want to pay them, if you're willing to let us share what results we were able to get on your campaigns with the community here on our channel, we're willing to charge you no fees at all, just for the ability to be able to do that. We have all kinds of people on this channel who say, Corey, we want to be able to see physically the strategies you talk about. And unless we have a client who can let us share their results and their campaigns and everything on this channel, we can't do it. So if you were willing to let us do that, we would give you the service fees that we charge normally at no cost. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to our firm as well. We're taking applications for that right now as well at guaranteeppc.com. But with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.